Why? You can't stop buying microtransactions.
I know your secret. You swiped, didn't you? Oh!
Oh!
It was a limited time sale, you cried. And now look at you.
On
your, 90th pull for Burnus? Jane.
It's a game. Twitch, YouTube, this is a game. That's not banned. Okay?
Don't worry, it's okay. There's no shame in it. I mean, it's not your fault, right? Right?
Chat, you're not addicted to Gamba, right? Right? You're not Gamba addicted, right?
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 That's what I thought, at least. It certainly isn't me that's the fat blubbering whale. Waiter, I'll take
I'm not a whale.
C6 Jane Doe's, please. Why'd you make me read that? There's just gotta be some kind of trickery.
Okay, but Jane Doe. Like, I mean...
C6 Jane...
I mean, look at her.
Doe's, please.
Her thighs jiggle.
Read that. There's just gotta be some kind of trickery going on that those sneaky little bastards are using to get me to spend. And that's where this story started. In my quest for answers, a simple Google search turned what seemed like cope.
Bro, I hate Game Rant, because whenever you go onto their website, they're like, turn off ad blocker or you can't read this. So I never use them.
To one of the biggest rabbit holes I've seen in a long time. But to understand the beginning of the microtransaction empire and its dark secrets, we need to start at the beginning.
Oh, at the beginning. Oh no, not the beginning.
Also, side note, I'm not going to explain what a microtransaction is because my...
Yeah, you should already freaking know what a microtransaction is, man. It's you buy in-game stuff. Why am I explaining this?
Scientific research says about 98.6% of everyone watching this video has bought one in the last 72
98.6%?
hours.
Including him.
In the last few hours?!
Because he's addicted to.
Okay, that plush is so adorable. Noctapus has a plush. Chat. Oh my... That's so cute.
Nikkei's storyline.
Back in the day, there was a
He has to bring up the horse armor.
man who dreamed big, in 16 times the detail. His name
It's the music.
Was Todd Howard. Todd
Yes!
became the face of a game studio named Bethesda and helped create some of the best gaming experiences in history, Fallout and The Elder Scrolls. But for this story, we're going to look at The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. According to my highly...
Bro, I just the other day realized how short Tom Howard actually is. Like when the Streamer Awards were on, not the Streamer Awards, sorry, the Gamer Awards, the guy is so short. He actually is goblin-sized. Bro. He's bringing that up as well?
Wikipedia, majority of people believe that this game was where one of the world's first gaming microtransactions was born. At least in the Western world. As for the East, we're going to get to that later on in the video. You see, in the early 2000s, there was an idea floating around that if a Nokia flip phone could sell things like ringtones and wallpapers, the gaming industry could do it too.
Oh.
So that's exactly what they did. Xbox started selling sexy Cortana
That's the first time I'm hearing that connection. Makes sense.
Themes on the Xbox Live Marketplace, and
Makes
Bethesda
sense.
wanted to get on the action too. Back in the olden days, there wasn't really a lot of knowledge about, well, anything digitally sold, really.
Yeah.
In Bethesda's words, they wanted to try making their own free-flowing DLC, which sounds a hell of a lot nicer than microtransaction if you ask me.
Free-flowing DLC.
I know. You're salivating at the mouth to know what their choice was to create for such an important moment in gaming history. So please prepare yourself, because what Bethesda crafted is truly groundbreaking.
The horse armor.
You know, we have lots of really strong opinions here on all sides of the fence. And so, in terms of, you know...
Bro, he also sounds like a goblin.
I mean, without being cheesy,
That's
like,
so
it's got
funny.
style. It has a tone and a style to it. I think very few things in entertainment have. Not just its particular style, but really good style.
Oh my god, but the style though. Chat, the style of that horse armor, man. That amazing style. It's so stylish. Have I mentioned that it has style?
Knows what it is. I just think the emotional impact of that is much greater, but then...
The emotional impact. It's so stylish. I'm gonna feel so happy because I'm so emotionally boosted. You're depressed just by microtransactions.
And in a way, for me,
That's exactly what a gambling addiction is. God damn it.
it's very, very inviting. I think the main thing that makes it special is that tone and style. I guess my only concern is that people won't really get it.
I'm not one to hate, but let's just say
People just don't get it.
it's a pretty bold idea to think, hey guys, what if we throw a salad bowl at a horse and sell it for 200 Microsoft points on the Xbox Live Store? 200 Microsoft points being the equivalent of $2.50.
Just to be fair, that is extremely cheap. Especially for back then, when inflation wasn't even anywhere yet. But holy shit, it has brought us into ruin.
This idea of charging for a small cosmetic item was pretty new at the time, and honestly, in the grand scheme of things, it was pretty tame compared to the loot box hellscape we live in today.
Yeah.
So how did the horse armor end up doing? Let's just say that players mocked it into oblivion.
I can't believe I laughed at this! Yeah, same. Same.
I'm gonna kill myself!
They also still got
How much horse armor did you sell?
People will buy anything. That doesn't mean you should do it.
He's got a point.
They will buy anything.
That's
sounds
her.
terrible.
That sounds real bad.
It does
I know
sound
that this
terrible.
is kind of a throwaway
Let's play that again.
I'm gonna kill myself!
They also still bought it.
How much horse armor did you sell?
People will buy anything. That doesn't mean you should do it. They will buy anything. That sounds terrible.
That sounds real bad.
I know that this is kind of a throwaway joke from Todd, but there's a lot of truth in it. I mean, after some time passed, Bethesda did an April Fool's sale on all their expansions for half off, except the horse armor, which was now double the price, and people still bought it.
No way! They doubled it for 1 day only and people still bought it? Are people dumb? Why am I... Yes, they are.
Even after learning about how this all started, I personally think it just came down to Bethesda trying to explore different ways to fund future games. It was a,
Sure.
can we do this? And not a, we have to do this kind of
Yeah, but just because you can doesn't mean you should.
thing. Apparently, they even tried selling the horse armor for a cheaper price, and Microsoft came in like the vultures they are to encourage Bethesda to make it cost even more. It's not like they would ever do anything wrong themselves. I'm sure we can all believe in good faith that Bethesda would never be greedy. Learning about this leaf horse is great and all, but honestly, that being the only
Also, Bethesda trying to charge for mods? Never.
catalyst for how aggressive microtransactions are today just doesn't add up, because it's only half of the puzzle. Before all of this even started, there was something else going on. Across the ocean, something was lurking. Something that would soon grow to be one of the most profitable gaming giants in the world, and would fight for the title of first Eastern gaming microtransactions. Nexon was debuting their first massively multiplayer online game, Quiz, a trivia MMO. This was released as a new free-to-play beta, which did pretty well until it got hit with the Nexon special and swapped to a subscription-based model. The player base was not happy. Nexon panicked. Their greed sent the player base into a nosedive, but luckily, they had an idea. What if, to fix the problem, they could offer things you could put on your character called cosmetics in exchange for even more money? If you couldn't guess, this didn't really work. Nexon's US director even said that Quiz wasn't built for microtransactions, so making things like custom cosmetics ended up being more work than it was actually worth anyways. With these lessons learned, Nexon found its new cash cow that was ready to be fully milked. MapleStory. To be honest with you, I had never really gotten to MapleStory, but unlike Quiz, after it got ported to
apparently a lot of people did
the US, it became hugely popular, something Nexon didn't expect since it was hard to believe Americans like myself would pay for digital pixels. But in time,
what is the damage?
Nexon didn't expect since it was hard to believe Americans like myself would pay for digital
That's great.
pixels. But in times like these, it's important to remember the words of our Lord and Savior, Todd Howard. People will buy anything. After
They
MapleStory's
will.
release, Nexon revealed that about 1 million American players bought some kind of in-game cosmetic after it was
1
released. Even with that
million!
success, I still don't really think that anyone back then knew what the growing amalgamation of gaming marketplaces would become. What exactly did it evolve into, you might be asking? Lucky for you, we have a list.
Battle passes!
Paid and free, of course.
Limited time events that you can only get once.
Until
League
they
of
come back
Legends!
for double the price.
Yes!
Personal player shops that are tailored to your buying
Night market!
Like the night market in Valorant.
Multiple types of
Yes! Night market, by the way, if you don't know what that is, it's... Wait, she explained it, didn't she?
limited time events that you can only get once.
Until they come back for double the price.
Personal player shops that are tailored
Yeah.
to your buying habits.
Yeah.
Like the night
Yeah.
market in Valorant.
Multiple types of currency because you can never have enough.
Yeah!
Oh, and last but not least, my personal favorite.
Loot boxes!
Little boxes! Overwatch!
Wow, when you think about it,
Isn't it crazy how the loot box system in Overwatch seems more desirable to what we have now in Overwatch? Let that sink in.
really is something for everyone. And if you play a gacha, you can have all of these at the same time. The amount of frustration online for all of these mechanics is huge. Every day, there's a new commentary
Surprise mechanic.
video that pops up going over some bullshit microtransaction in whatever the slop of the month game added recently. The thing that's hard to swallow for people about
I want to add to this. I talked about this before. I don't know if I talked about this in a video. I played Honkai Starrail once, wasted some money on it, got the character that I wanted, and then realized I don't really like this game too much. It seems fun, but I don't want to get invested in this. I just burnt money. It gave me like a reality check, and I deleted every single gacha game I had on my PC. So that's that.
this is that there's a lot of cases where these shady business practices actually work, and unfortunately, we are the proof. It's 3
How
a.m.
dark patterns
Your
emerged.
phone buzzes and you check it. Is it your girlfriend? No, you don't have one of those. It's Clash Royale. It's time to buy your daily deal.
Clash Royale still exists!
You spend your gems,
People still make ads for Clash
sigh of
Royale!
relief washes over you, and it's back to bed. It might seem like an innocent and small mechanic, but there's a little more going on than what meets the eye. Behind the scenes of your favorite games, there are a range of complex psychological equations going on, from whenever you make a purchase, to the design of the buy button, the color of your shopping cart, all the way down to you enjoying that sweet, sweet moment of bliss getting your next scantily clad waifu. But what
Yep.
exactly is going on here?
It's a little bit of, what was it called? Endorphin hit? Then that little sudden hit real quick.
Is it really as sinister as some people like to make it out to
Jesus.
be? The answer to that is actually
I think I'll have to ask my editor to blur all the boobies. Jesus!
yes. Also, just before we get into the good stuff, I am not here to absolve anyone of their self-control issues. You and I both know we have no problem throwing away little Timmy's college fund to roll for a sexy rat girl. The truth is that ever since that shiny horse armor and even the times before
been
it,
doomed.
the realization that you could make even more money beyond a simple subscription or one-time purchase made
it's been
game
doomed.
companies rabid at the opportunity
I feel even if we didn't have the horse armor, eventually we would have gotten to the point we are at now.
to monetize. And as the mantra for all games go, where there's money to be made, research will be done. We all know modern game UI storefronts are psychologically built to persuade you in your decision making. It's why a lot of UI descriptions for jobs and games prefer backgrounds in psychology. This shouldn't really be a surprise. Companies like to make a profit, that's the entire point after all. But for games, things get a little different. While I was researching this topic, looking at scientific papers, reading angry game forum posts, and buying Pokemon Pocket card packs to get first-hand experience, there was one phrase that kept popping up over and over.
Okay.
Dark patterns. I know it sounds edgy, but just bear with me for a minute. Imagine you
God, that's Pinoy, isn't it, bro? Pinoy. He's so funny.
over dark patterns. I know it sounds edgy, but just bear with me for a minute. Imagine you missed your daily login streak and the only way to
You gotta respect the
Save
man.
it is to pay 100 gold or watch 3 Evany ads. While most people say skill issue, this is a dark pattern. Dark patterns are ways companies have to negatively persuade you into doing things, which is almost always buying something. It was then I found something that really opened my eyes on how exposed we are to this in almost every online game there is.
Oh god.
Darkpattern.games. There
What?
is a lot to go over here, so I'm going to break it down into 4 parts.
Time. Yeah, of course. Why would you waste your time as an adult that is working a 9 to 5, spends an hour each on going to work and coming home, needs to take care of possible children if you have any, already fucking exhausted, can play maybe 5 minutes a day? You gotta put your money into it. You don't have time to grind for all the free currency. You got no time. You gotta spend money. Gotta get the free stuff.
If there's one thing that
Yeah,
games
gotta
like to
get
waste
the-
more than your
Gotta get the stuff quickly, not free. Sorry.
money, it's your time. Earlier, we established that these games are serving up a negative experience in hopes you'll try to create a positive one by buying things. Every time you log on to do your 30 minutes of dailies, you're clicking through menus and doing mundane things so you don't miss a day and get punished for ruining your monthly streak and losing the last reward. All throughout that time, there's ads popping up telling you about all the shortcuts and limited time deals you're missing. In gacha and mobile games, there's what sometimes seems to be an infinite amount of tedious tasks to grind.
Oh
When I'm doing
my
my Nikkei
God.
dailies, really the only thing to get me
Freaking Nikki.
through all those tedious things is being able to lay eyes on my beautiful wife Soda and her twinkling bunny outfit. These daily mechanics in games are fueled by opportunity cost, which means by not sticking to a schedule set by the game, you might lose out on those free pulls on the final day, pulls which might contain something, keyword might. This fear of
Yo, is that a
day,
scythe?
pulls which might contain something, keyword might.
Might. That is a scythe. Okay.
This fear of wasting your time and losing out on rewards can control your brain, because humans are primed to take actions based on impulse. This might be kind of hard, but imagine a world where Overwatch 2 still has players. You aren't able to grind out
Yeah, sorry. That's an impossible task.
all 80 levels of the battle pass and need just 15 more to get that special Arizona green tea Genji skin on the last tier. Honestly, it's your fault for working a 9 to 5, but don't worry, because
Exactly.
Blizzard has you covered. You can pay to skip those 15 tiers and get straight to that juicy reward for $30, you know, triple the price of the original battle pass, which you already paid.
But now you don't have to actually play the game. Now you get your skin quickly.
Paid for. You're paying to not only save your time and get that instant gratification, but to avoid the negative feeling instilled by this time commitment mechanic. You know what? I have a test you can do. The next time you play a game, pay attention to how many store items have the live timer, clock symbol, or even just the color red.
Oh yeah, red, definitely. Red is instant signal to your
Anything
brain.
that might give you a sense of urgency, that fear of being punished or missing out on what could be a good reward, is what keeps players coming back over and over.
What is
Also,
the
spec-
stock footage? Bro, she just crying and just money in the head and frozen.
Anything
What
that
is
might give you a
that?
sense of urgency, that fear of being punished or missing out on what could be a good reward, is what keeps players coming back over and over. Also, special shout out to all the mobile games out there that tie in-game lives to watching advertisements. Trust me, there is nothing I love more than avoiding a 12-hour life refill timer by watching 120 seconds of ads where they hired fucking chimpanzees to play the damn game.
Oh my god, this one. That's my dono sound, man. It actually got me there for just a second. Bro, that's psychology based too, though. They make it seem like the player's playing the gameplay like a fucking idiot, making the person that watches the video feel like, oh my god, this can't be that hard. I'm way smarter than this. Let me just do this myself.
Money is the key.
Money
to happiness,
talks.
because behind every swiping card, there's dopamine. And behind dopamine is that tiny bit of fulfillment that feels oh so good. But in order for online games to keep funding their own development, microtransactions are sometimes a necessary evil for games. This can be in all sorts of forms, like
Yeah.
how I pay $20 a month for my daily Catgirl ERP sessions and
You what? I. Can you really call this a microtransaction when you're paying someone else?
Final Fantasy XIV. But whether a game costs money or is free to play isn't really a dark pattern. Instead, we need to take a deeper look at what's going on inside of those games. One of those things being premium currencies. While they seem pretty harmless, it's more than just a cute aesthetic for an in-game shop. I want you to close your eyes and imagine you're a Genshin player for a minute who's about to start gambling, pulling for Arlecchino. You're gonna need to wish on a banner, which you can do by either Intertwined Fates or Acquainted Fates. Intertwined for only limited time pulls and Acquainted for standard banner pulls. You can get both Fates by Primo Gems, which can be bought with Genesis Crystals for real money, but when you wish, you can also get Stardust and Star Glitter, where you could spend things like... Okay, that was a lot. And for Gacha Games, Genshin actually isn't that bad at all.
That's true. Genshin is really pretty and actually has some nice story, and the gameplay is nice. I like the interactions that the elementals have with each other, but I have sworn off the Gacha Games. I shall no longer touch any Gacha game.
It's very important to not mistake complication for bad design. This is done on purpose. Premium currencies, besides getting around legal loopholes, have two goals when made. One, make the exchange rates hard to calculate mentally, and two, obscure how much things actually cost. Most players aren't going to go through the mental...
I think there should be a law to have in-game currency removed and actually put the money value there instead of the in-game currency. But of course they wouldn't do that. Of course they wouldn't do that. Because then people aren't actually gonna spend money on it.
Gymnastics of finding out how much the random limited time bundle costs after it goes through 10 different currency transactions. Besides trying to be intentionally confusing, I'm sure you've seen bonus currency on store pages too.
Yeah, even League has that.
This is going to get into a little bit of math, which I suck at, so if I get it wrong, please feel free to leave a comment calling me a moron. Let's take a look at League of Legends. You have 7 different options when you buy Riot Points, from $5 to $100. Every single option, except the cheapest one, gives you extra currency. If we actually do the boring math, you'd be getting extra value in each bundle, starting at $0 to $2 to $4 to $6, and then $17. Wait, why 17? Why is the last one so high and not just $8? Because they
more value!
want you to feel like the most expensive option is the ultimate deal, and you spending $100...
It's a $250 skin. Or $500 skin if you want the entire bundle, man. Oh yes, Ari.
And saving 17 is way more profitable than you spending $11 and saving $1. The other piece to this strange monetary...
Just to be fair, in League, all of this is just cosmetics. League of Legends, to be fair, is a free-to-play game. You don't need to buy any of this. Just to be fair, but it's still scummy.
Concoction is called waste aversion. With point-based systems, we are way more likely to fall victim to the sunk cost effect. If I want a new skin in League, it's going to cost 1,000.
So are Gacha Games, yes. But the characters you need to play are very hard to get as a free-to-play player in Genshin, and you're not guaranteed to get it if you're only free-to-play in Gacha Games.
350 Riot Points, but in the shop, the cheapest option would give you 1,380 Riot Points.
Which is enough for a normal skin, like a epic tier skin is what they call it, which is basically the standard.
Points. So you have 30 left over. But wait, there's nothing in the store that costs 30 Riot Points. Sure, it could seem like an oversight, but this is done on purpose. Those extra little points that are in your account are just taunting you. Seriously? Only 30 points? What are you, a poor brokey?
If you're broke, boy, just say so.
That's not even enough to buy a loot box key. Your money turned into pixels is just wasting away. That's the trick with this dark pattern. Human beings don't want to be wasteful.
The problem is that people want instant gratification or delayed? Yeah, that's true. Very true.
That gives a negative feeling of wastefulness. And the cure is to buy more to top it off and spend what's left. In an attempt to not be wasteful, some people end up spending even more money. This dark pattern...
I have never hit 0 RP on League. Never. And I've been playing the game since Season 2 for like... So what's that? 10 years now? Yeah, I think League has been out for 12, 13 years or something now, right? And my RP count never hit 0. It's always something left.
Pattern is pretty predatory, but hey, at least games aren't doing stuff like adding completely hidden VIP store pages after you spend $10,000 to try and siphon out even more money.
What, no?
There's another type of dark pattern we're missing.
15 years now? Jesus. Okay. Then for 13 in that case.
One that doesn't delve directly into the depths of your bank account or time. This one has to do with your friends. Imagine me, a young Noctapus going to new high school. A group of nerds, my people, took me into their friend group. It was then when I heard for the first time
What's a
League
friend?
of Legends. I will never forgive them for introducing me to that hellhole, encouraging me to buy.
Yeah. I got sucked into League by a friend too. God damn it.
Experience boost so I could get to level 30 and play ranked. The downfall in quality to my life was
Jesus,
unlike
why
any
would you
other.
do that?
6 years and $4,000 spent on loot boxes later, I'd finally quit. The point of this story isn't how much I spent.
Good on him. I haven't played League in a while. No. I'll eventually get back to League at one point, right? It's always that case. I wouldn't say I quit. I would say I'm on hiatus from League. You never quit League. You're always just on a hiatus. You're always back. You're here forever.
Actually, just forget that ever happened. The point is, by word of mouth, I spent years being a fan of a game and spending money on it.
And in all honesty, everything surrounding League, apart from League itself, is actually pretty cool. I mean, just look at Arcane. Arcane is amazing. Like, Arcane is genuinely amazing. The lore is amazing.
You have something that's valuable to game companies, your social connections. Games almost always have some kind of refer a friend program, so you can invite someone for a reward, and when they get the same quest, it repeats the process. One invite can turn into 100 invites, and all of a sudden you have a funky looking shape that...
Oh yeah! Yeah. That used to exist. Doesn't exist anymore. I tried getting myself those rewards by leveling up multiple accounts. I knew a lot of people that tried to do that, man.
Really isn't a scheme of some kind. But regardless, this isn't really a dark pattern at all. To be clear, there's nothing wrong with game developers wanting to reach more players. No one wants to play a dead game. The dark pattern has nothing to do with inviting your friends to join a clan or guild. That's the fun part. The negative experiences are what games can do to you afterwards. You're obligated to be the tank, and you need to be on at this day, at this time, for this special raid, and it doesn't matter if you still enjoy the game, because it's time to grind Trials of Osiris, and you will be damned if your pregnant wife ruins it before the new season starts.
Oh my god. Oh, bro, to be honest, at one point, raiding did feel like a chore. Like in WoW, at least. Like, just getting on every single time just to get almost nowhere because I'm playing with a bunch of fucking retards. Ugh. Pain.
Honey, I think I'm crowning. Oh, that's great, honey. I'm mid-crown of sorrow with the boys right now. So can you please shut the fuck up and finish making dinner already? It's always the fat ones.
The thing about this dark...
Oh my god, he's so based.
pattern is there really isn't a solution to the negative feeling you have besides just playing more with your friends, so unless you're like most tanks who hate their lives, it really isn't that bad. I'll be honest, I was a little skeptical of the social dark patterns, and even the website itself says that not all dark patterns are that bad, and this next one would be a good example of this. I've lost 4,000 hours of my life playing Rust, because the way the game's set up makes it a full-time job, and god damn is
sort of like same for WoW, man. Like WoW, if you're like raiding consistently at a high level, it definitely feels like a job too. Like or being in a guild, like a guild leader or a guild what's the word? Officer, yes, that one. It's like being a mod. But yeah, fucking definitely feels like a full-time job. I would know. I used to lead a guild.
it addicting. The competition versus other players and the need for being online with your friends at every
difference is Rust forces you to play, otherwise you lose progress. Wow. Now, that's disgusting.
God damn, is it addicting. The competition versus other players and the need for being online with your friends at every moment feels like a constant battle that you have to endure. Then it just resets every week and you can do it all over again, trying different strategies and methods to win. This can be considered a dark pattern because it encourages players to address negative, stressful feelings with the behaviors of spending more time than they actually would in a game.
Jesus. Yeah, that's actually just
any of you
FOMO.
played Rust before, you know exactly
I
what
have
I'm
not.
talking about. Your neighbors have 10 players and you're just a lonely duo. So to make up for the disadvantage, you stay up until 5 a.m. hitting rocks to avoid having your base blown up. Then
That sounds
the
great.
moment you go to sleep, it happens anyways, and you spend the next 3 hours outside their base shouting
Have you ever said the N-word before?
colorful phrases, holding a freshly crafted Ioka. These are still social obligations, just geared in a competitive manner supported by the gameplay loop. This means you're spending more time in the game, keeping the player count high, and inadvertently driving up sales, which
I want to say, how do people enjoy this? And then, again, it's just FOMO, I guess? Like, oh my god.
means the game has better overall health. For the final piece of this dark pattern puzzle, we have to look at how games hook into players' minds, like some kind of disgusting orange beady-eyed parasite. I'll be honest, there are things I really don't
League of Legends loot boxes, masterwork chests. They got removed, by the way. Or are going to be removed. It's either or.
feel that qualified to talk about, like comparing loot boxes to gambling and things like addiction, but what I did find was a surprising overlap between psychological triggers between casinos and online game stores.
Well, yeah. Yes. I said this before. It's literally the same as of gambling addiction.
Casinos and microtransactions have one thing in common. They want to make you feel like you have control. Both of these things want you to feel like you have more power than you actually do and make you think you can beat the odds, and in turn, they actually control you. Casinos love to give you meaningless statistics about previous winners, let you roll a dice, or even in some cases give you some kind of virtual scratch-off ticket. The thing that people don't see is that all these outcomes are randomly determined no matter what you do. Sure, for things like blackjack, there are good strategies, but typically at the end of the day, it's out of your control. Microtransactions specifically
The legendary. The legendary drop.
loot boxes are treated the exact same way. Like, for example, Pokemon Pocket was recently released.
Oh my god. Chat, Pokemon Pocket, I don't know if you guys are playing this. There was this rumor going around, I don't know if he's going to address it, that if you like scroll through this carousel here, that if the top is slightly tilted, it has a higher chance, or like guaranteed chance even, as some people thought it would be, to have really rare cards. It's not true. You see this button down here? That's a skip button. You can just press this. Just by the skip button here existing means that it's already chosen what you get. Once you're on this screen, it's already chosen. It doesn't matter what you pick.
And when you open a card pack, it lets you choose from a carousel. You can spin it around, pick a pack, and just pray for a rare card. After a few days of its release, players started spreading rumors that a few of the packs in the carousel had a bend in the virtual packaging.
Yeah, bend, that's the word.
Always have a rare card. Those tweets gained.
It's not true. It's just not true as well. Like, first of all, I said, due to this freaking skip button just existing, already means it's already determined what you get. Second of all, I had banned packs and got no special cards.
A ton of traction, but the replies were inconsistent. If you actually just check the information button about the pack percentages, it confirms that regardless if a pack's bent, opened backwards, spun 10 times, you will still get the random select.
Did people actually think spinning it 10 times would increase their chances? Okay, people are so freaking dumb.
Selection of cards. This tab is intentionally hidden away and confusingly worded. If you have to read it 10 times like me, you'll probably come out
Okay, but come on, just use your head. There's a skip button. That's all you need to know.
of it knowing nothing, which is what they want. Also to not be fined thousands of dollars, but more on that later. All of these variables to pack openings are expertly crafted.
Chet, are you playing Pokemon TCG? No, wait, that's the actual physical card game. The Pocket TCG. Are you playing the Pocket card game? I occasionally open packs. I finally got so many hourglasses saved up so I could open a 10 pack. I got nothing special. Didn't even get my Mew or Celebi. Feels bad. No Mew, no Celebi. I still didn't get a X card. I was so sad, man. To be fair, no money spent though. Free player.
Because if a player thinks they can avoid the negative, stressful feeling of random chance by
Oh, I also have never gotten the God Pack. This right here is a God Pack. Oh, special cards. Oh my god, I just want a God Pack. Please.
the odds with their special tricks, they are more
You got
inclined-
3 Mews! Is trading out yet? Wanna trade me? Wanna trade me a Mew card?
to do things like buying cards with real money. It would be worth it since they have the illusion of control.
yet?
The way our
Alright.
mind comes to conclusions like that, well, to be honest, it kind of makes me feel like a dumbass, but that's just how we're built. We want to find shortcuts and get to the best outcome for ourselves.
Yeah.
Earlier, we talked about how games have a funny way of getting you to play them even when they're not really that fun anymore. Playing games is fun, and you spend money and time to do
Yeah.
it. The longer you do this, the more endowed value games have. Spending $10 on a free-to-play game means now you subconsciously think the game is worth $10. We're also completing quests, unlocking random things, spending time, money, and social aspects which personally tie us to
God.
our accounts or characters.
Oh god. We're parasocial with our accounts. When we will be able, I would gladly. I just need to rest if gift. Okay.
In a lot of cases like MMOs, it's not really surprising we feel emotionally attached to our characters and want to keep progressing. But this is where games take advantage of you. Doing your dailies, buying skips to save time, grinding battle passes, it's all adding more personal value to your
You know what you forgot to mention? The WoW token. That would have been a really good point in this entire video too. To be fair, we still got 4 minutes, but I don't think we'll get to the WoW token anymore.
game account. So even when you want to stop playing or spending, it's our impulse to keep going. People don't want to feel like they're losing something that's valuable to them. It's like going to a bad movie and not wanting to leave the theater because you're desperately trying to get value out of the ticket. you bought.
Yeah.
You want to keep the value we created because it makes a lot
Yeah,
of sense when you
that's one of the Mewtwo cards.
think about it. And with that, we're through all 4 dark pattern types. We know that players can be easily taken advantage of, and there are games that definitely do it. Regardless of being malicious or not,
Yep.
these systems are all designed to work together to make a profit. Again, I'm not here to create excuses for impulse buying a $500 Ari skin, but that doesn't mean we should look the other way when things are predatory. So what happens when it goes too far?
Lawsuits and the future? I mean, to be fair, Overwatch was forced to change their model because of Europe, mainly Belgium.
This morning, the FTC reaching record-breaking settlement agreements with the creator of Fortnite, Epic
Wait, what?
Games, agreeing to pay a pair of fines totaling $520 million.
Epic Games, in its quest to make as much money as possible during the rise of Fortnite, hit the limit of fuck around and find out. The Federal Trade Commission said that Epic was violating children's privacy by collecting information from players under the age of 13 without having a way to notify parents, and also doing things like having voice chat enabled by default for children's accounts. That's just
yeah,
part
that's
of the
not good.
lawsuit, but we're looking at the other half of them, which talks about dark patterns. The FTC claimed that it was really easy to accidentally buy something, and that Epic made the menus purposely confusing, leading to hundreds of millions of dollars of accidental purchases. I know it sounds pretty far-fetched, but it was reported that you could accidentally press a button while previewing a skin and it would automatically purchase it to your account without warning. You could press buttons during the loading screen and it could also make a purchase on accident.
Yeah, okay, no wonder they got a lawsuit over this. What the
Pretty much
hell?
Any way they could get money from a parent's credit card, they would do.
Honestly, deserved.
And to make things even worse, Epic left out the "Are you sure?" or "Confirm checkout" screen.
Yeah, like, what? Like, I was about to say, shouldn't they be like, confirm purchase? But nope, accidentally leaving it out.
So if there was a card on the account,
Didn't China outlaw loot boxes? I don't know, did they?
it would automatically be charged. Then when
Hey,
parents
Meaty.
complained about the hundreds of dollars of V-Bucks being bought, Epic's reply was, well, actually, they didn't reply. They just locked the accounts. The only option to get your account back was to drop any disputes you had, and that you also wouldn't dispute any future charges. I think you can see why they were fined so much. It's not just here, though,
Yeah.
because across the world, the fight against dark patterns has already started as well. In 2023, China announced that there would be rules to fight against dark patterns, like removing daily login rewards or not allowing minors to purchase
well,
loot boxes. In
there we
Belgium,
go.
they just straight up ban loot boxes, and in places
Yep.
like South Korea, it's required for loot boxes to show the probability percentage.
Yes, and in some countries, you can't even do the Twitch gamba. You know, where you can gamble with predictions on your channel, with channel points. You basically gamble for free. You don't win anything, you don't lose anything. Yeah, tuna. Literally. Sweden.
Before you buy them. All around the world, it seems like governments are starting to crack down on these things, and while it's not all enforced, some game companies are preparing to comply after seeing how big the fines can be. At the end of the day, as long as microtransactions aren't predatory, respect your time, and actually act as a way to support a good game, there's really nothing wrong with buying them. But
I agree with that.
Always remember, no matter the rules and regulations, dark patterns and deception, people will buy anything.
Oh, Todd Howard, you legend.
So there you have it. Now that you're definitely going to save money by not buying any more of those
Right,
useless
Chet?
cosmetics, come give it
Right,
to
Chet?
me instead, like these wonderful patrons this month. And if you want to see behind-the-scenes script writing, art, music, early videos, come join my Patreon. Thanks for watching.
Please, shut the fuck up and finish making dinner already.
Good video. Really good video. He may be short, but he knows how to make money. Todd Howard knows how to make money, 100%. I mean, how often did he re-release freaking Skyrim now? Jesus Christ, man. We're gonna get another re-release of Skyrim before we get fucking Elder Scrolls 6. There's no way. Like, there's no way we ain't. Like, there's just no way we aren't. Oh my god, man. By the way, that will be all. Thanks for watching, YouTubes.